I can't find a single prominent conservative voice in the country that even remotely wanted or hoped or was pushing to get Jimmy Kimmel taken off the air.
You know how I know Republicans are liars? You know how I know Republicans are hypocrites? Do you want to know how I know? Well, it's because I watch what they say. I listen to the words that they speak, and then I juxtapose that speech against their actions. And I got 3 very brief clips for you right now. This all involves the firing, the dismissal, the indefinite suspension of Jimmy Kimmel, a comedian for telling jokes about Donald Trump. That's what this is about. This is about the government using the weight and width and breadth and power, immense power of the executive branch to violate Jimmy Kimmel's constitutional rights. And it's not going to start with him, or it didn't start with him, and it's not going to end with him. This is going to start working its way down to the low levels like me, like others in my space. Let's begin with, should I begin with Donald Trump? Let's begin with J.D. Vance. I was going to play him third, but let's play him first since he's second in command. Here's J.D. Vance back in February at the Munich Security Conference talking about the protection of free speech. The how does he put it? Under Donald Trump's leadership, we may disagree with your views, says the always truthful J.D. Vance, but we will fight to defend your right to offer it in the public square. Agree or disagree, says J.D. Vance, the non-hypocrite f***ing liar.
Our own government encouraged private companies to silence people who dared to utter what turned out to be an obvious truth. So I come here today not just with an observation, but with an offer. And just as the Biden administration seemed desperate to silence people for speaking their minds, so the Trump administration will do precisely the opposite, and I hope that we can work together on that. In Washington, there is a new sheriff in town, and under Donald Trump's leadership, we may disagree with your views, but we will fight to defend your right to offer it in the public square, agree or disagree.
Now, the reason I started with J.D. Vance, obviously that is untrue. He's a liar. He's a hypocrite. The man who called the man he works for America's Hitler and then raised his right hand to serve with him. Yes, sir. Yes, dear leader. Yes, America's Hitler. I'm here to serve, sir. He's following the lead of his boss. And Donald Trump started this administration promising to protect free speech, that government censorship was over. This is from his inaugural address on January 20th of this year.
After years and years of illegal and unconstitutional federal efforts to restrict free expression, I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship and bring back free speech to America.
He's going to stop all government censorship. He's going to bring back free speech to America. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Donald Trump. Do you believe that? 100 days later, on his 100th day in office, he was in Warren, Michigan, giving a rally speech as president of the United States a second time. And he said this, doubling down on his protection of free speech and the Constitution and we all have the freedom of speech now in America, he said.
And I banned all government censorship and restored free speech in America. We have free speech. We didn't have free speech.
He banned government censorship. He brought back free speech to America. Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, sir. With tears in my eyes, I thank you. Big, strong man. Who believes this? Who believes this? Because yesterday, He celebrated the firing, the indefinite dismissal of Jimmy Kimmel. He posted on True Social, "Great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth, two total losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC. President DJT." Not only is he celebrating the dismissal of Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel, he's put a target on the back of Seth Meyers and Jimmy Fallon, people who just tell jokes for a living. This is where we are with the freedom of speech in America that Donald Trump brought back. This is where we are with Donald Trump ending government censorship as he, the head of the executive branch, 1/3 of the government, a co-equal branch of government, is celebrating. Now, what he's not saying there is the role that he played in this. You know what's interesting is morons like Sean Hannity are out there right now saying, find me a Republican. There's not a single Republican of any prominence whatsoever who called for the firing of Jimmy Kimmel. Can you, speaking of hypocrisy and liars and just insane the things they expect us to believe from them, watch this from Sean Hannity and then spoiler alert. I almost said shocker and then I made it spoiler alert, so it came out spoiler alert. I'm going to have some receipts to prove him wrong. Watch Sean Hannity be the dipshit we all know him to be.
The left already, starting with Humpty Dumpty, fake news, CNN, J.B. Pritzker, Gavin Newsom, predictably claiming this is conservative censorship. The MAGA crowd, Donald Trump got Jimmy Kimmel. That is false. I can't find a single prominent conservative voice in the country that even remotely wanted or hoped or was pushing to get Jimmy Kimmel taken off the air. Nobody, it just was simple. People changed the channel.
You can't, Sean Hannity? You can't? You can't find a single prominent conservative voice in the country, in the entire country, that even remotely wanted or was pushing to get Jimmy Kimmel taken off the air? You can't find one? How about we go right to the top, Sean Hannity, you fucking gross liar? How about that? How about this tweet from July? This post on True Social from July from Donald Trump, your dear leader. The word is, and it's a strong word at that, says Donald Trump, Jimmy Kimmel is next to go in the untalented late night sweepstakes, and shortly thereafter, Fallon will be gone. These are people with absolutely no talent who were paid millions of dollars for, in all cases, destroying what used to be great television. It's really good to see them go. I hope I played a major part in it. That smacks to me, that rings in my ear very, very conspicuously as though that was a prominent conservative voice in the country that remotely wanted or was pushing to get Jimmy Kimmel taken off the air. Sean Hannity, you fucking idiot. Or am I at risk for calling the shadow chief of staff, Sean Hannity, a fucking idiot? Am I at risk for calling Donald Trump a fat, illiterate moron? Am I now at risk? Am I under threat? Are they going to push to have my channel removed from YouTube? From Facebook? Are they going to push these tech companies to regulate the speech of people who are just being critical? Isn't that against the ethos of conservatives? Isn't that against the fundamental principles of free speech absolutists like J.D. Vance, like Donald Trump, like Charlie Kirk, the man they're celebrating, the man that predicated all of this? I am unafraid. Am I nervous that they're coming for me? Yeah, of course. but unafraid. Bring it. Do your worst. You're cowards. You're un-American. You violate the sanctity of the oath to the Constitution that you've taken on multiple occasions, J.D. Vance, Donald Trump. Unlikely Sean Hannity's actually taken an oath to the Constitution because, you know, he's just an entertainer on Fox News. What do you think? I invite you to this conversation. We can have it in the comments below the video, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. I would appreciate that. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.